What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So tonight, as you guys can see by that title, me and my mom are going to be having our very first slumber party mukbang, and I'm so excited. We got our little simple snacks. We got some gummy worms, popcorn, what's these?
Goobers.
Yeah, I ain't hip to goobers, but some of my faves. Got some chocolate, got some Reese's Pieces, and we got some water.
High quality H2O.
And tonight, while we eat on these delicious snacks, we are going to be sharing some of our favorite movies, some movies that scared the complete out of us when we were younger, and a whole bunch more. So with all that being said, let's jump right into this video.
Let's do it.
Okay guys, so for me, when I was about 4 years old, this woman decided that she was going to let me watch The Exorcist. Was it The Exorcist or The Exorcism?
Because this child right here
This child
decided that she wanted to stalk, pester, beg, obsess over watching this movie. I mean, cry, plead. She just had to see it.
I was 4.
I don't think she was 4, but
I was young.
she was young.
And she could have told me no and made me go to bed.
I could have said no, but
She let me watch The Exorcist. Okay.
I
Now,
didn't think that would be an effective way to teach the lesson. Just say no and go to bed.
I was 4. We gonna keep reiterating that. I was 4.
I don't think she was 4. I think she was a little older, but you know.
I sat and watched that movie. It was messing me up from the very beginning. But the part that did it for me, that just scarred my little 4-year-old brain,
So she said she was 4.
was when that girl, like, she was possessed. I don't remember now. I don't want to remember her name. But she was possessed. And she did this she did this back body bend. And she walked down the steps.
She did.
That did it for me. Like, it was I was scared of the steps for a little bit. I didn't want to go down the steps. I didn't want the lights to be out.
She didn't want to watch that scary movie again either.
I was 4, and she let me watch The Exorcism.
For me, my number one scariest movie that, I mean, just, it messed me up. I was young myself. Was this movie that came out in 1988 called Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Pumpkinhead is a terrifying movie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go ahead and Google Pumpkinhead movie. I think it's like 1988. I'm sure you're going to see pictures, images of this guy. It's a pretty scary dude. Know a couple of people that resemble Pumpkinhead.
Oh my God.
I'm just joking. I don't know anybody that looks like that thing. A movie that really stuck in my head forever is The Wiz. And I'll tell you why.
That's my movie.
Because growing up, I always saw The Wizard of Oz. It was The Wizard of Oz and it was Ten Commandments. They came on around the same time, Easter, every year. And I love both movies, but The Wizard of Oz was my favorite. It was a movie musical. And I had no idea that there was a black version of The Wizard of Oz. I'm talking about every character, every song, the whole swag, style of the movie was black. It was us. I'm telling you, boo boo, for us, by us. I loved it, and I was a little girl when I saw this. From that point on, I could always see any other movie that I watched in a black version. Like, if it was a movie that was good, was a blockbuster, I could always see it black.
I watched that so many times growing up. Especially because it had
My
Michael
kid.
Jackson in it, and I
Yeah.
was obsessed with Michael Jackson.
Okay. I can remember showing the kids The Wiz and actually debating with a group of kids whether the Scarecrow was Michael Jackson because they were young. And in their minds, Michael Jackson was a light-skinned, straight-hair entertainer.
That's how we saw him on
And
TV.
this Michael Jackson had a Reese cup paper over his nose and a fro, and the kids was like, absolutely not. We hear
that
Michael
ain't no
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
I mean, a room full of kids saying the same thing together.
We didn't know. So for me, a few movies that I couldn't stop thinking about after I watched it was, of course, number one, Selena. And I got a whole video that I talked about that have to do with just Selena. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. Another movie that stuck with me once I saw it was this movie called Tomboy. And it was on Netflix for a while. And it was actually a movie that was in French. The movie was based on this 10-year-old girl who wanted to represent herself as a boy. And her parents were okay with it. They let her have the short haircut. They let her wear the boy clothes. And this movie was taking place during the summer, right before she was about to start school. They had moved to this new neighborhood. She was about to start school soon. And she spent her last few days of summer getting to know the new kids around the neighborhood. It was just so much that happened in this movie. If they still have it up on Netflix, or you can look up a preview on YouTube to get a better understanding of it. But that movie was just so interesting to me. And one movie that really, really, really stuck with me after I watched it, I just could not get it out of my head, was The Blue Lagoon with Brooke Shields.
She definitely had a lot of questions after she saw Blue Lagoon.
Okay, look, if y'all seen The Blue Lagoon, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, The Blue Lagoon is just one of those movies where you feel like, it just makes you think like, wow, that's so beautiful. I wish something like that can happen to me. But that's movie magic for you. It's not really reality. That movie just, once you think about it as an adult, it's like, wait a minute, he was.
A movie that I can watch over and over again, and I've been watching since childhood, is Just Another Girl on the IRT.
Oh my gosh, that's your movie.
Not only is it one of my favorites and I could watch it over and over again, but I have introduced quite a few people to this movie. Short summary of it: young girl gets pregnant early on. She's extremely smart, but she likes to be hood because it's fun, and she ends up deciding, after carrying this baby in secret, that she doesn't want to be a mother, and she does the extreme. And all I have to say is, if you've never seen Just Another Girl on the IRT, check it out. Whether you can find it on YouTube,
that shocked me,
or get a DVD. Like, it's definitely a movie that you will either like or not like, and if you like it, you'll watch it over and over again.
For me, movies I can definitely watch over and over again are the 90s classics. So I'm talking Boomerang, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. This is early 2000s actually, but Baby Boy, oh my gosh, that's my movie. So pretty much those movies, the early 90s movies or just the 90s classics, definitely my favorite movies. Watch those over and over and over again. Selena. Definitely Selena. Cry every time I watch Selena. Set It Off. I used to hear people talking about Set It Off all the time, and I watched the movie for the first time with my mom and my dad. This was back in like 2008. I was getting my hair done, I think over the weekend or something. If you've seen Set It Off, you know what I'm talking about. Set It Off always makes me cry.
It's one of mine too, so you know, I agree.
The Pursuit of Happiness. I just get so emotional watching that movie.
That's a really sweet movie.
Like,
and
literally.
I love Will Smith, so.
Yeah, he did. First of all, I really am a big critic when it comes to acting. I just really want to believe whatever it is, whether you're really happy, really sad, angry, whatever emotion or state that you're supposed to be in, I want to believe it. And he did such a great job in that movie. I felt like I was going through the struggle with him. I felt his pain. I felt his struggle. Like,
girl, when he pushed his foot up against that bathroom door.
Don't even bring it up. I'm going to start crying.
Ooh, held that baby.
Yes. And lastly, this movie called 96 Minutes. You remember 96 Minutes with Evan Ross? That movie always makes me cry.
Anaya said one movie that always makes me cry, which is Set It Off. Like, always makes me cry. Another movie that always makes me cry is 80s movie. It's called Beaches.
She just introduced me to that too a few weeks ago. Actually, like a month ago now.
Yeah, it has Bette Midler in it. Really good movie. Look it up. That's all I have to say. Netflix or on demand, whatever. Like it's an awesome movie, and it will definitely make you cry. And another movie for me that always makes me cry is Their Eyes Were Watching God with Halle Berry and Michael Ealy.
We just want to say, with all these movies that we're naming, if you have not seen any of these movies, we highly suggest that you go and check them out because they are really all good movies.
They are. Well, I'm positive that Anaya is going to agree with me that number one on my list, 1 and 2, is Norbit
Bruh.
and the Clumps. But Norbit is number 1 because I do not care where I am, what I'm doing, who I'm with, what time of day or night it is. If Norbit comes on the screen, I'm going to laugh. And not just, no.
I'm talking about
It's going to be a ugly, hold my stomach, stomp my foot, slap my leg type of laugh. Every time I watch Norbit, I find something else that make me laugh until I hurt. So it's number 1.
And I know a lot of y'all probably like,
Norbit, that movie is not even that funny.
That
bullshit.
I know all the people that we know and all the people in our community pretty much feel the same, and that is that Norbit is a comedy classic.
I mean,
and it's hilarious.
Eddie Murphy is freaking
Eddie
hilarious.
Murphy. I don't understand why Eddie Murphy doesn't have a comedy Oscar. He should have a trove chest full of them. He should, because he's just a genius. And Norbit. Another movie that always makes me laugh, I can watch it anytime, day or night, is Babs.
Oh, Babs,
yeah. I guess you can realize I'm also a Halle Berry fan. I quote Babs all the time.
And she was like,
oh yeah, now I'm really smack that ass. Like Tyson.
Nah, Tyson would hit him like this. He hit him like that.
Another movie that makes me laugh no matter how many times I watch it is Mean Girls.
Yeah.
What's funny about Mean Girls is the DVD that we got here is actually a DVD that I've had since I was 8. You bought that movie when I was 8. I was watching that. That movie is hilarious to me. It's a movie I can quote front to back. Sprung.
Oh my goodness. Sprung.
And Big Daddy. I always laugh at Big Daddy.
One of my favorite rom-coms is Boomerang.
Oh, Boomerang. Oh my God.
And like I said earlier, guys, you know Halle Berry is one of my favorites, so she's going to pop up in lots of different categories.
One of my favorite scenes from that movie is the scene where they were all having that meeting with Strange. I got a few romantic comedies that I really like, but one of my favorites that she actually got me hip to is Coming to America.
I got her hip to everything she liked.
Not everything, but majority. That's not everything. So for a little bit, I actually went down a Sandra Bullock rabbit hole, and y'all know Sandra Bullock was named Queen of Romantic Comedies for a little bit. So a lot of little romantic comedies that I like are Sandra Bullock movies. One of my favorite romantic comedies with Sandra Bullock in it is Love Potion No. 9.
Such a funny movie.
I love that movie.
I was surprised that Anaya would even like that movie.
Well, I was going down a Sandra Bullock rabbit hole, so you know once you go down those rabbit holes, you gotta look up everything that this person has done, and I came across that movie, and they actually had the whole thing up on YouTube, so I looked it up, and the whole concept of that movie, like trying to get somebody to fall in love with you. Like you spray this, what was it, a perfume or some type of potion they had. Either they drank it or sprayed
like a breath spray.
And when you talk, no matter what the other people were doing, the minute you say something, everybody just drops what they're doing and they just drawn to you. They just want to touch you and hug you. Just, you could say anything like, I'm about to fart. Another one of my favorite rom-coms with Sandra Bullock is The Proposal. Especially the scene with Sandra and Betty White. One of my number one favorite animated movies until this day is The Emperor's New Groove.
So funny.
One of my favorite animated movies. Like, that movie will literally have me laughing from the gut every time I watch it.
Kronk.
Lilo and Stitch. We was just watching Lilo and Stitch in the car the other day, and I was falling out. And the scene where the social worker comes to Nani's house for the first time, and Lilo just trying to completely set her sister up for failure.
She was.
Coraline and The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
Movies still to this day get played a lot.
Movies like that though, I just love the movies. What is it, like claymation movies where
Yeah,
they
I
have
think
to
those both are
do like
claymation.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I love those movies. I think they are masterpieces. The time and effort that you have to put into those movies and all the editing that goes with it, I think is brilliant.
My favorite animated movies are, first of all the Shrek movies. Like, all the Shrek
Can't
movies
go wrong with Shrek.
are hilarious to me. Another one for me, as far as animated movies are concerned, is The Incredibles.
Oh yeah, I still haven't seen Incredibles 2.
Oh man, you really need to sit and watch that. That's a funny
Especially
movie.
because I watch Incredibles all the time.
Okay, so you should sit and watch too. I've been a Simpsons fan ever since they were like a clip on the Tracy Ullman show. So we're talking decades. People love The Simpsons.
The Cheetah Girls. Whoo! You don't understand.
Oh, I understand.
Well, okay, y'all don't understand. I know she
y'all
understand.
don't understand.
The Cheetah Girls were literally my life.
Now you want to talk about something she was crazed, like she was crazed over the Cheetah Girls. Like, she was a Cheetah Girl.
Throw your hands up if you know that you're a star. You better stand up if you know just who you are. Never give up, never say that. Girl power, girl power.
My favorite Cheetah Girl song was Cinderella. I used to love to hear the girls sing that.
Your
like,
favorite.
Just, oh man, they sound so cute singing it, and they would be singing with so much passion, and it was such a positive song for the kids. That's something else I liked about Cheetah Girls, was you could let your daughters watch Cheetah Girls and you knew that they weren't gonna be singing or doing anything inappropriate. It was family fun, it was family friendly, and I didn't mind my daughters imitating Cheetah Girls. If I heard them say, "Oh, I'm her," I felt comfortable with that. Like, okay,
I was always Raven, by the way. Still my favorite. Another one of my favorite movie musicals would be Pitch Perfect.
Oh man,
That's actually another movie that I had on repeat for a
Yeah,
little bit.
you
I was
watched
talking
that a
about
lot.
hiding movies from my sister. That's a movie that had to be hidden from me because Pitch Perfect was played every day.
She gotta have all those songs memorized. You have to.
Yes.
Because that movie
I
got
can't
played
even sing
a lot.
Since You've Been Gone regular. Like, before I sing Since You've Been Gone, I gotta start it off like zoom 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 zoom.
I thought that was a cute movie. I like the girl that would talk but you couldn't hear.
She said, they said, I'm
Anaya
sorry.
be doing that so good.
She said,
So for me, one of my all-time favorite movie musicals, and this can also be in the category of a movie I can watch over and over again, is Little Shop of Horrors.
you talk about that movie all the time.
I love Little
That's a
Shop
movie they would
of
have us
Horrors.
watch in school too.
One of my all-time favorite movie musicals is Little Orphan Annie.
And you got me hooked on Little Orphan Annie.
My favorite growing up, I was in the play, in summer camp, Playhouse in the Park. I didn't play Annie. I forget the character's name. She was the little girl that said, "Oh my goodness, oh my goodness."
She could have played Little Orphan Annie, but she was being too shy.
I was.
I got a few favorite childhood movies, but one of my favorites would have to be Alice in Wonderland. It was a version that came out in 1999. It had Whoopi Goldberg in it. I like how they made the different worlds, like how where Alice would walk into a room and she would go through this little tiny door, but as she walks inside, she's huge. I could not understand how that was, like, how did she do that? I'm thinking this world is real. It just played on my imagination so much because I definitely had imaginary friends around this time. Definitely Matilda. If you haven't seen Matilda, then I don't know what world you're living in, but Matilda, that's gotta be like all of our favorite childhood movies. That's a classic, a childhood classic. And Tarzan. I loved Tarzan, especially I think it's like maybe the second or third song they play. No, not that one. The You Beat My Heart.
Yeah.
I don't know why when I hear that song now I get emotional, but I guess it's because it's a big part of my childhood. So
Yes.
when I listen to it, I literally feel like I'm about to cry.
A few of my favorite movies growing up. One was probably you've never seen, called Short Circuit, and it was about this robot. His name was Johnny Five, and it was a very, very cool movie. I really have always been into sci-fi, so anything that had to do with like robots, outer space, stuff like that, I could get into. Another one of my favorites growing up would have to be Karate Kid.
And I just watched the original Karate Kid a few weeks ago, the night before my birthday. We watched the Karate Kid and I liked it. Hey!
Okay. She's showing off. Let me try.
Good. The winner for this, my favorite movie overall.
You better not say my movie.
No, I'm not gonna say your movie. It's actually an animated movie.
Okay.
That is literally Coraline. I love Coraline. Like, I can actually go ahead. If that's still on Netflix, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
My ultimate favorite movie is gonna be Norbit.
Norbit.
Like, I freaking love Norbit. And until Eddie Murphy does something to top it, because I don't think anybody else gonna do anything to top it, but until Eddie does something to top his own work, it's gonna stay right up there, #1 for me.
A current favorite movie of mine right now too will have to be Spider-Man. First of all, I'm a huge Zendaya fan. I've been a Zendaya fan since
Shake it up.
I'm not up to date on all the movies like I should be. But Spider-Man, especially because he's new to Marvel, just being a superhero, Spider-Man was always my favorite superhero anyway. So, you know, I just recently watched the new Spider-Man and it definitely made me want to just go down a whole superhero, just the whole Marvel franchise period. I just want to go through and watch all the movies.
My current favorite movie right now would have to be Child's Play.
You are my buddy. You are my best friend.
With all the categories and the different movies that we talked about, comment down below from each of the categories what your favorites were or the movies that fit for you in those different categories, because we would definitely like to know. We're gonna go ahead and end this video here, guys, but if you enjoyed this video,
Please give it a big thumbs up.
subscribe if you are new, and if you aren't new, welcome back. Thank you for coming back, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Check my onesie out, y'all. I got my onesie on.
Oh, she bottling? Hold on. Check me out.
Nah, check me out.
Check me out.
Check me out. Check me out.
I'm a
Check,
beautiful
check,
girl.
check, check, check.
Don't I look so lovely?